You guys know how much I love season 1, and honestly, horror movies and horror series, like a lot of times they can't live up, like a second season or a second movie, it just can't live up to the first. So I was kind of skeptical going into the season. Would the season live up to my expectations? Would it be as good as season 1? But honestly, I think it might even be better. Like, it's that good. So much stuff happened in this episode, and there better be a season 3 because I will just be crushed if we never find out how all of this is supposed to unfold. So I guess it's more than obvious that Sabo and Brooke hooked up. Now, he looks so guilty in this episode. It's way over the top for me. I still stand by what I've said, that he's a red herring. And what I take out of this episode and what I've been saying for the past few weeks is that Kirin is absolutely, without a doubt, one of our killers. Now, I know some of you might not agree with me, and if you don't, let me know down below, but thumbs up if you think he has to be one of our killers. We got a huge clue about him this episode, which we will get to. Hopefully you caught it. Thumbs up if you caught that huge clue. And I'll explain it here in just a little bit. But let's talk about Sabo, because so he hooks up with Brooke, and he's so weird. Like, she leaves the room, he's looking at her lipsticks, he's smelling them or whatever, and he takes one. So yes, very weird. He's a weird guy. They want you to think he's one of the killers, but I definitely don't think he is. Everyone is mad at Noah, and everyone is mad at Audrey, and obviously, why wouldn't they be? First of all, Noah knew Audrey's secret. He didn't tell anyone. Audrey was the one with the secret. She didn't tell anyone. We had to wait until that email circulated to Emma. And the thing about it is that Zoe swears up and down that she didn't send it. But we'll get to that in just a little bit. So Emma was pretty hardcore. I mean, she pushed Audrey into the lockers. I thought it was pretty hardcore, but I guess it is a pretty sensitive subject. She opens her locker. There is a lock of hair with Emma number 4, that recording attached to it. So that hair is Miss Lang's hair. And that recording, we knew that had to be important, so she listens to it with Kirin, aka Killer, and it turns out that Miss Lang was a little bit scared of Emma. What we don't know is what is Miss Lang's deal. I will tell you this much. They kept her alive for a reason. She's definitely connected to the 94 stuff, to the stuff in the past. I don't know if she's related to the James brothers. I don't know if she's related to Piper and, and then related to Brandon as well. I'm not sure what the significance is, but I promise you she is significant. She's not just a random teacher character. What I want you to understand is what happened in 1994 with the adults who were teens then, the adults in the show now. Because basically, in the most simplest terms I can tell you, is that someone that we probably know was a murderer, a mass murderer back then, which means they're probably still a murderer now, which means they could be doing some of the killings now or organizing them. I don't really know. But in my live chat this week, I'll link that down below. I explained everything that happened in 94. You guys have helped me understand it, especially Ralph, so thank you guys so much. It's important that you understand it because it's going to definitely play into present day on this show. So if you want to talk about it in the comments, those of you who understand it, you can go ahead and do that. You can watch my live chat. Or if you guys want, I can explain it in next week's video. I can take some time and explain it kind of like I did in the live chat for those of you who don't want to sit through the live chat. So please let me know down below how you would like me to handle that. So, here's the thing that I don't get about this recording of Audrey. So Noah tells her, I did not know that it was recording. Okay, I can totally get behind that, but here's what I don't buy. If you remember, you saw his computer screen and he had it saved to a file with her name on it. Now, he never mentioned that to her in this week's episode, but you don't save something that you didn't want to record that was a mistake, So I'm just not buying that at all, okay? Here's something else I've been thinking about Noah. If you've been watching me for a while, you know that he was my main suspect this season. But the thing is, he's not anymore because I'm pretty sure it's Kirin. Although I would love for Noah to be involved in the killing somehow. If you notice, they never mention a father for Noah. He lives with his mom. No big deal. But the thing is, I've wondered before if perhaps Troy or Brandon could be his dad, if that's going to tie him into all of this, if maybe in another season down the road or whatever, he'll be involved in all of the killings or he's been plotting them or something. I just think that would be so epic. Thumbs up if you agree. So, Audrey finally confronted Zoe and she's like, I know that you're the one who sent that recording to Emma. She tries to say she doesn't, but they start digging on Noah's computer, or that she didn't do it, but they dig on Noah's computer and they find out that she did send it to herself. And she was like, well, yeah, I did that, but I didn't send it to Emma. But then some further digging reveals that yes, the email that was from a secret friend was actually coming from Zoe's email. She's like, I didn't do it. So Noah says, I believe you. Okay, WTF. Honestly, I think he just wanted to hook up with her, and she could have had a knife and was trying to kill him, and he would be like, I don't think you're the killer. You know, either that or they're working together, but I think it's the other. I think that he just wanted to hook up with her, and he was going to believe anything that she said. So we learned more about what happened with Sabo in Arizona. So apparently he was playing around with, I think, his dad's gun with a friend. It went off and killed the friend, but his dad thinks he reacted really strangely, that he was like obsessed with it. He didn't tell people for a while, that he drew pictures of the scene and everything. But I think that's just more propaganda to make us as a viewer just really think that he's our killer. But I could be wrong. But I'd love to know your thoughts about Sabo down below. If he's your suspect, please tell me why. The biggest Kirin clue that we got in this episode was in the hospital. Hopefully you caught this clue. So Kirin and Emma go visit Miss Lang, and she's got some injuries to her throat, so she can't really talk. But when she opens her eyes to see both of them, she freaks out. Now, Emma was in front, and Emma thinks she's scared of her, just kind of like what she was talking about on the recording. But it's more than obvious to me that she was terrified to see Kirin, who was her attacker. Thumbs up if you agree, and I definitely think that that was such a clue that we can't ignore. That pretty much solidifies that Kirin is one of our killers. We see that Kirin takes her keys, and we wonder what's up with that. We'll find out very soon. But we also find out that someone sent a bouquet of daisies, and they said they're from Daisy. They sent those to Miss Lang. If you remember, Daisy was the nickname that Brandon gave to Emma's mom. I don't think that Emma's mom sent the flowers, but I think this is just to show you how all of this is connected, not just because someone is masquerading as Brandon James, but because they're actually connected. I think we're going to find that our killers have a real connection, whether it's they're part of the family or they were, you know, something back in 1994, that's why that's important, that it's not just random people who enjoy going on killing sprees or something like that, or just like a high school grudge. I think we're going to find out that it's all definitely connected, and all the killers are going to be significant. So we see that Gustavo breaks into his dad's office. He's going through files. He finds the copies of those text messages exchanged between Brooke's father and Jake. What is awesome is that he goes and tells Brooke about it. She had no idea. She confronts her dad, who tried to lie about it at first, but then fessed up to it. We also find out that Jake was supposed to burn down that house from last week's episode. I very much think that Aunt Tina, who is Eli's mom, was the one who did it, because if you remember in one of the previous episodes, Brooke's dad told her that he had a job for her to do. All right, so as kind of expected, maybe some of you expected it, Noah loses his virginity in this episode. Now, usually in horror movies, that's a significant sign that he will die, the person who loses their virginity. So Audrey gets texted that he lost his virginity, and he's, you know, he's like going to die. Because there's this like Brandon James party going on that no one knew about, where you're supposed to wear a Brandon James mask, and everyone's going to go there, and that's where Noah could potentially be killed. So Kirin and Emma are breaking into Lang's house, and this is where they find that picture from last week's promo that shows that Piper and Miss Lang were in an orphanage together. Some of you think they're actual family members. I don't think that's what they're trying to tell us. They're just trying to tell us there was an association there. Doesn't mean that they were friends, but they knew each other from a long time ago. They could have been best friends. They could have been enemies. They could have been working together on this at some time, all this killing stuff. I don't know. But I don't think they're blood related. So the actual party is actually going on at this orphanage, this old orphanage. So it's very, very creepy. All right, so the Noah kind of gets like a light bulb that goes off in his head, and he figures out that, remember that camera that was recording the storage unit where Jake's body once was? When he took that home with him, it has been recording all of the audio that's going on in his room. So the killer is able to keep tabs on him, or that's what they want you to believe, because they've heard everything, every conversation that's been going on in the room. So, yes. Now we get to this Brandon James party. And we see Haley, which I don't think any of you guys wanted her to live, and I definitely didn't. I thought that she was a red herring, and it turns out that she definitely was. The killer sent invites to Audrey, like I mentioned, and I don't think he sent one to Emma, but I think they found out because they were, I can't remember how she found out, but anyhow, everyone ends up being there. The only person I don't remember seeing there was Eli, so I don't know if that means something or not. But anyway, so they're hosting this party, and Haley is just like way too confident, and she comes up to Emma Emma's like, I don't understand what this party is. Like, what's going on? And she's like, oh, you helped organize it. She was like, no, I don't know anything about this. And she said that she was kind of organizing it, I guess, with someone that she's been dating. So I guess here we're supposed to assume that Kirin was also hooking up with Haley. I think he's probably the world's worst person because I think he killed his step-parents. He's been killing students and he's been cheating on sweet little Emma. That's what I think anyway. So Zoe has this idea that they shut off the electricity so that once there's no music and no lights, everyone will leave the party so the killer cannot kill. But it was a little bit too late because Haley was meeting with her special friend or whatever. I can only assume that was Kirin, but maybe it was our second killer. She thinks they're going to hook up, but instead he brutally stabs her to death and hangs her up. And it was really grotesque, but that's okay because that's what the show is about. Something that was really crazy is that someone dug up Piper's body and put her in the orphanage and put her on display. So I'm not really sure what that means or what kind of message that's trying to get across, but yes, that happened. Now, Sabo was supposed to show up at Brooke's house, and he showed up, and the first thing he said was that he was sorry that he was late, and he also made mention of a special friend. Now, all of that seems way too over the top for me, but maybe, just maybe, he's involved. I don't know. But with special friend and being late, meaning he could definitely have come from killing Haley, I'm thinking that's just too overboard, over the top, but you let me know what you think. The promo for next week looks crazy because it looks like Noah is going to get stabbed. Now, I don't know if that's a dream sequence or if he's stabbed but not killed, but I definitely don't think he's dying next week. I think that's just a ploy to get us to watch. But the other significant thing from the promo is that the sheriff thinks that Brandon James is still alive. We've been way ahead of them because we've been saying that in these videos and live chats for weeks, that we think Brandon could still be alive. If he's not, it must be like Troy avenging his death. I don't know, but Troy or Brandon or both of them are definitely going to play a role into this series, if not this season, then next. So much happened, and I hope that I remembered everything because literally, there were so many important things that happened. If I forgot something, please let me know down below. If you haven't come to our live chats, we just have a few left because we just have a few episodes left. So please come. I'm going to start making them at least 45 minutes until the series is over or the season is over. Oh my God, I don't want to say series. I don't want it to end yet. So please come. That information's down below. It's really fun to bounce ideas off each other, to share theories. Actually, everyone there at the same time. I think you would really like it. And if you are just now seeing this or if you've been watching but you haven't subscribed, it'd really help me out if you would subscribe and like this video. I would really appreciate that. I would love for you to be a part of the Kelly TV family. So thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next week. Bye.